Hey, this is James Pelton, and the Tavern pre-mint is happening today, and I know there's just been a lot of questions about, there was the Elixir rug last week, if you will, and some people think, oh, the Tavern and the Elixir team is the same team, and there's a lot of unknowns in the space, and it is a risky space, and I understand that. Like, anytime you get in things early, I talk about this all the time, but you get in early, there's high risk, high reward. So if you're not into these risky things, and you want just normal reward, then just wait. Okay, you don't have to get involved in the pre-mint or anything like that. You can wait, and your reward will be lower for sure, but there's less risk. Okay, but for those of you who want to get in early, originally I was like, the Tavern reached out to me and said, hey, we want to do an AMA, and I was like, you know what? I've been burned here recently. I don't really want to be involved, but then I decided, hey, you know what? I'll just hop on a call with them, and I'll just hear what they have to say. I'll let them speak into the drama and all that, and just let them have their 2 cents. And then after talking with the team, I'm a sucker for nice guys, but I love this team. I think they're really nice guys. They did private docs to me, so I know their names and I have their social media accounts and things like that. I have not looked at the code base, so again, and this doesn't say anything to the competency of the team. They seem like smart guys. But sometimes projects don't work out just because the tokenomics weren't sound or something like that. So I can vouch for the team, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the project's going to for sure be a success. But I'll just let you know I'm going to invest in them. And so I wanted to share, here's my AMA with the Innkeeper, who is the founder, and I'll just kind of let you decide for yourself. So thank you all for watching, and here's my AMA with the Innkeeper. This is James Pelton, and I'm here with the creator of the Tavern, known as the Innkeeper. And thank you for coming on my channel. I appreciate it. The Tavern's one of my most requested projects, I would say, just people asking about it and what I think about it. So I'm always happy to have the team come on and answer questions, because then I know I can't get it wrong if I'm getting it straight from you. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of introducing yourself and maybe what caused you to start the Tavern, what came to mind, and why you started.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, James. I'm the Innkeeper. It goes with the theme. The lead developer for the Tavern. And yeah, I basically, I guess an introduction about myself. I'm a product manager. I come with a technical background, and I absolutely adore creating projects and planning them and realizing them. I think that's like the main thing, is like taking an idea and actually creating something out of it. When it comes to the Tavern specifically, I guess it all comes down to just like the node projects that have been really like taking the space by storm, really. They're really interesting. They're really easy to understand. They're just kind of like, you buy this thing and it makes you passive income, and like passive income's always been like a bit of almost a meme, just like I don't know if you guys have seen those memes about like, would you rather take the $1 million now or like 1 penny every year for the rest of your life? And it's like, oh, I'll take the 1 penny because that's passive income, which isn't obviously a good idea. You take the upfront payment and invest that, hopefully. But
at least in this industry, take the money up front.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's just like people like the idea of the passive income. You can sleep, you can watch Netflix, or you can work, and you're still earning money. And that's kind of that's what's beautiful about it. And there's loads of projects that are trying to do this, but a lot of them are unsustainable. A lot of them are like doing things that aren't innovating, and that they're not all of them are making it through the gates. And we've even seen recently like Elixir, that kind of ended up dying out, which was such a shame. But like we want to be able to innovate and create something in this space that improves on these things. And we talk to the community a lot about like how they would like to help shape the project for us, and like what's their input, because it's important to us. And so
yeah, no, that's awesome. And since you brought it up, so we're gonna just address the elephant in the room. But so Elixir was one of my, I was really excited about Elixir, and I just love that they were taking node projects, but they were kind of gamifying it in a way that I thought was really fun. And so I was really excited about it. And I get kind of the same feeling with the Tavern, where it's like a node project, but it's gamified in a way where I'm like, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. And I actually was hesitant to even take an AMA because after what happened to Elixir, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
No more getting in early on
Yeah.
projects. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
get in late with everyone else. But could you maybe just talk a little bit about uh, doxing in general and your KYC process? And I know your KYC, but the same with Stay Seifu, which was Elixir also was, and just that
Yeah.
whole debacle. Do you want to talk into
Yeah.
that a
No,
little bit?
let's get into it all. I'd love to talk about it. So yeah, I guess like when we first started, we were shown a company, Stay Safe. I think they're a recent team. Um, I think they're a team of 3 guys. They're based in France, and they basically were really nice. They fast tracked us, and they did the full process, and it was very like legit. It felt really like professional, so we were happy. Um, and then it came out, and I think when we actually announced it, we did say like this isn't like we're not just going to do, it's not like a one and done thing. We want to get a bit of so like a couple others, just so people had like a bit some cross referencing there, just to ensure that that our names are somewhere, and like if something was to happen, you have a method to kind of find and press legal action, because the community and the people need that safety before they decide to invest in a project. So we understand that. And there are more things to do than just a KYC, because a KYC at the end of the day doesn't really prevent a developer or a rogue developer from doing something. So there are methods such as like multi-sig, and also making sure that like after the multi-sig's in place, it's like, okay, now maybe no one with bad intentions could do anything wrong, but maybe the good intentions, like you code a smart contract as a bug, and that could like wipe out people's funds. So an audit would help protect that. And I think all of those things together combined do provide like fairly good security against like your investments, and like when you decide to invest in a project. However, I think we need to try and find ways to like take that step further. So one of like you mentioned doxing. This is something that we've been looking at, because uh, it would be great to dox, but unfortunately, right now we've seen so many bad stories, like of if we were to show our faces, would that be bad? Like, because basically, um, it's kind of like a one-way thing. So we show our identities and our faces to people, and they can they could find us, come to our house, and do things, but we don't know anyone so it's kind of like they know about us and we don't know about anyone. And I've seen some horror stories, and it's just something that it makes me feel unsafe. However, hopefully what we can do is dox to someone that's respected in the community, like James here. And that's kind of that's what we've that's what we've been talking about. And this is a huge tangent, because you asked about Elixir, but I just wanted to quickly touch on like the security aspect of things, because that we need to try and find out a way together as like a crypto community. Like, how are we going to help make sure that people can invest into projects and know that their investments are safe?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, and we've talked, and I think we will do a docs with me. And then I guess one more question that it just has come up to me a lot, but people saying, "Oh, Tavern and Elixir are the same team," and I don't know where that comes from exactly. But do you want to just are you and Elixir the same team, or do you have any connection or anything like that?
Yeah, great question. I talk I you we tried to talk about the Elixir stuff, and I went on a tangent. So no, we're not the same team at all. I don't even know who they are. Um, you know, our team, we've all KYC'd, and I've also been told that 3 of the Elixir team members have KYC'd, and identities don't match. We've talked with the Stay Safe team, and then we were asking them to you know like how can we kind of prove to people that we're not the same people, like they're not the same team. um And so yeah, basically we're a team from the UK. I'm fairly sure they're not. I actually don't know where they're from. I'm not super involved in their project. Like I didn't buy, I didn't invest, wasn't in the whitelist. I just got showed it because I'm in a few alpha hunting groups. And obviously it was gaining a lot of hype uh, over the past couple of weeks. But no, we're not the same team. Um, I would love to be able to prove that to people because we had so many people like being like, oh, they're the same team, they're the same team. And I think it's just purely based on the fact that we have like similar style projects, taking like the gamification elements, incorporating that with the node style passive income projects. Um, I personally don't think I don't think we're like copying each other. I think we're doing slightly different things. I think Elixir had a lot more like tokenomics there that you had to kind of read through and understand. There are a lot of different things. Their leveling system was different. And we kind of taking things back down to basics, more on the degen level, where it's just kind of like you buy this thing, it automatically kind of levels up. You don't need any of these other random kind of like NFTs to make the system work. It just works. And I do think they are different. And I think that we like the one thing that I think is I'm the most excited about is our liquidity token discounting like algorithm. So based on the USDC reserves that are in the liquidity pool against the full diluted valuation, we offer a varying discount, which is like automatically calculated on chain. So it's always there, and you can use that to basically purchase breweries at a discount. And the tokens, you can actually even zap. So if you have USDC, you can zap that into tokens, transfer them in, and pay for your brewery at a discount. And what's really cool about that is that we can basically incentivize the weaker our liquidity gets or the higher our price goes for people to pay in liquidity. And that's kind of our main biggest step towards solving the sustainability issues we're seeing in these projects right now. So that's something that I really want to see in action, and I'm really excited for. And I know a lot of other people are as well. And it's unique. No one's done it before, as far as I'm aware. I'm like 99.99% sure. And the code's also public. I'd love people to go and look at it. It's really cool. It's basic linear interpolation. Um, but yeah, that I love talking about this project, so I keep rambling. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, did you say you want people to go look at the code? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'd love people to look at the
Okay.
code. We have a GitHub. I'm sure you can put this in the link in the description.
That's spoken like a true software developer, though. I can tell you most people are not wanting to go look at the code.
Fair, yeah,
I'm
fair
a
enough.
I'm a software engineer too. I was a PHP, Ruby, JavaScript dev for a long time. So
Oh, you,
I
you know
might go look
Ruby?
at it, but I don't think most people want to do that.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I for some reason I get the impression that most people that are in crypto have some form of technical background or know how to use a computer. Um, but then, yeah, I guess that there are people that aren't like that, so I probably shouldn't make assumptions.
Yes. No,
Um,
that's good though. It's good for a software developer to love their code enough to tell people to go look at it. That's good. So for maybe my audience who's not, I've read through the white paper and I'm sure you have also. So, but could you maybe explain the project a little bit? So I think my audience is very familiar with nodes, but then like what are kind of your tweaks on it? You talked a little bit about the liquidity discounts and things like that, but what would you say makes your project a little bit different?
yeah, no. So what makes the Tavern unique? That's a great question. We're basically so we're a node style project. We incorporate gamification, NFTs, and treasury backing. This is just to all help to reward participants in a more sustainable way over the long term. So I guess like the things when we first like started creating this idea is like we were like what works and what doesn't, because we wanted to kind of like help double down on what works and then try and fix what doesn't. And I think that's what like everyone should be doing. Like when you create a new idea or you take something in a space and try and improve it, like that to me is what innovating is, and that's what helps grow an ecosystem. Um, so the three things that we've kind of came up with was that node projects are like, they're really easy to understand. They have fixed rewards, so like you know what you're getting. It's not like a competitive staking pool where like you see 1,000, 2,000 APY, and then like a few weeks later it's like, in the three figures. But also they're a passive strategy. And I kind of touched on this at the start. And these are really great things that we think are what make node projects good. But what are the current problems with node forks? Well, a lot of them at the start had very unrealistic APRs, and also like you would lose your initial capital. And that's kind of like, so when it comes to like using your initial capital, like what I mean is that you have to put money down, and you can't get this back. It's like a contribution to the treasury, and they'll basically reward you over time. But we wanted to basically have a system where people can have these NFTs and trade them or sell them and try and recoup some of their investment if they were looking to exit. So yeah, that's something that's, I think, important. And trying to do that right is something that we've been really looking at, because I know Elixir had a similar concept where you would basically have NFTs as well, but they had some errors in their plan for how things were going to work, and I believe this is what ultimately caused their I guess their descent. And we reacted to that and we changed things, and that's kind of been like one of our main kind of like differences, I would say, is that we're here, we're listening, we're molding this project together, because at the end of the day, the Tavern is going to be owned and controlled by the Brewers Guild. And the Brewers Guild is basically something, it's exactly like a governance system where if you own a brewery, you are part of this guild, and based on how much mead you have, this is your voting power. It's your basic governance system. People are all aware of this, I'm sure. If you're in node projects, I'm assuming you know about DAOs. But yeah, this is basically going to be a way for people to control the protocol as a community. And we're already trying to do this in an organic way now, but eventually we want to move it into on-chain processes, just to give people that like that decentralized feel of crypto. So that's like one of the unique points I think that we're doing. Like being reactive to things that change, listening to the community, polls, and eventually that will hopefully turn into a proposal system. So the second thing, I guess we talked about it, the liquidity stuff. So that's really cool. I love talking about that. So yeah, the liquidity, like having a discount when people like pay with liquidity is like liquidity tokens is really cool. I think that's something that's going to be really strong for the sustainability, because the more liquidity a token has, the more value it has. People can sell more and it affects the price less because there's more reserves there. In a sense, it gives more value to the token, which is important, because you don't want the token to just bleed off in a week. You want it to stay at the price that it should be.
Right. No, totally agree.
Yeah, exactly. And liquidity is such a problem right now across crypto in general. Just it's something that is getting better and better, but because the markets are still so then they haven't matured yet. That's something that we need to keep pushing towards.
Yeah.
And so I've not really seen any project really like put much attention on the liquidity pool. I know that there are obviously like treasury backed incentives, which we're also going to be doing. Like the classic bonding kind of Olympus DAO mechanic where you can buy like tokens from the treasury, and we'll be offering things like this, but like the direct liquidity kind of token discount, I think is going to be really cool. And then finally, we're going to have Tavern games. So this is something where basically we can really brand, really market really well. It's like, you're at a tavern, why not play some dice? Why don't you play some cards? Like there's going to be, so one of the games that we've actually coined, we called it Dice right now, or Dices. But you basically, it will be done, like there'll be verifiably like randomness in the like on chain, to make sure that this can't be like tricked or like duplicated or whatever. But the smart contract will essentially roll dice, and you basically have to say whether it's odds or evens or aces. So it kind of works similar to craps, or yeah, I think it does. I mean, I don't actually know craps that well. I don't know. Do you know craps?
No, not really. I
No.
don't. We'll just
um,
assume it works kind of similar to craps.
we'll just assume for now. Someone will probably tell me I'm wrong, but yeah, basically aces are in this sense. If you think of it like roulette, aces in this instance are a bit like the green zero. And then odds and evens, are self-explanatory. So you can guess on one of these three options, and if it's odds or evens and you're right, you earn 2 times your wager, and if you guess aces right, you earn 7 times your wager. And aces just means only ones or twos appear on the dice, and odds and evens is odds or evens. So that's one of the games that we basically have. We think it's simple but also fun, and because the games will be rolled like quite often, it'll be going and going and going. So you'll be watching people like potentially earning lots of money, and it's just going to be a really exciting. I think it's going to be a really exciting game. Um, so yeah,
Cool. Yeah, no, and I think to some people, like the theming of a node project might be kind of irrelevant, but I think one of the reasons these node projects have been so successful is because it's fun to go in and collect your rewards, and
yeah,
and I think we've also seen like these play to earn games where you buy these NFTs and they produce something, and I think we're kind of seeing those things start to merge together because
yeah.
those are really fun, but the returns have been way too high, and the coins crash and it hasn't worked out. But what we're starting to see, and we don't really know if Elixir would have ended up working. Like they kind of just gave up. I'm not
I think
convinced.
it. I think it could have. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I think it could have. I think, yeah, I don't want to obviously speak badly on anyone too much here, but I personally think that they could have.
Yeah, it seemed to me from reading like that things were going to plan, and then it was too much pressure or something. I mean, it is a
Yeah,
lot of pressure running a project, but
yeah, yeah,
so
it is.
I guess that kind of so my next question would be like, what do you think that your team's biggest challenges will be? Like, where do you see, hey, there might be hiccups here, there might be, extreme pain points here. Where do you kind of see those things happening in the future of your project?
Yeah, I think one of the main pain points right now that we can foresee, and I think this is the same for most projects, even any projects, is just trying to prove like legitimacy and intent. It's something like it's always going to come down to this element of like I need to kind of like just take a bit of a leap of faith, and it kind of is a bit of a shame because there are projects and there are developers that are really trying to make some really cool things, and um I think that that's like one of the biggest challenges right now, and I hopefully we can try and find a solution for that. I think like the private doxing, showing identity, showing names, showing social medias, all of that. So like you, for example, James, I think that that's a really good middle ground. I know there's people in my community that are really keen for that to happen. And I want to be able to give that, I think that I think that's one of the challenges that we're facing right now is just trying to prove to people that we are, legit people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's funny too. For your community, I've had some people reach out to me and they said, "Hey, when they private docs, make them hold up like a newspaper with today's date to prove it's
Yeah.
actually and things like
Yeah.
that." I'm like, it's like a hostage situation or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
no, that's awesome. So, I guess how easily? So you're the lead programmer, the lead developer.
Yes, lead
Okay.
developer.
So
Um,
how easily do you feel that you and your team are able to pivot? Because I think that's a really crucial thing that a lot of teams lack is
mhm.
the things never go according to plan. Like there's always hiccups, like you talked about. So how well do you think you and your team are able to pivot and adjust as those roadblocks come into place?
So I think very well. We're a very active team. And with the when all the elixir stuff happened and people started like getting like even in general like people like were quite worried about like node projects and being like, well, if this happened then like maybe I'm gonna like take it easy for a bit. um but like we instantly reacted to that because we knew like this is obviously gonna have implications. And like we knew we had to kind of make some steps forward for that, and pivot, like you say, like react. It's a very reactive it's a very reactive space, so it's important, like you say, to be able to pivot. So we made sure that we were like, in chat and answering every single message, even if it was someone just trolling or fudding. Rather than delete the message, it looks, I think more suspicious. Like we were like, we just need to answer to everything, give people the answers, answer their questions, even if, they're trolling us, and making announcements being like, yeah, we hear you. We know that this has happened. These are the steps we're going to be taking to help like remedy the situation. Like we're not the same team. Um, things like this, I think it's important to be able to respond to. And not just that, but like even further back when we saw, and I know this interview has been very much Elixir v Tavern, but I think it is important because of what people have been saying. But I think like back when they had NFT trading enabled, we saw like how the demand just completely moved over to the marketplace and no one was buying Elixir. So basically people had all these cauldrons, and they were just selling all their rewards. There was no buy pressure for Elixir. There was sell pressure. There wasn't buy pressure. It's like a very simple thing. That's why the price dipped. And we realized that there was some fatal errors there. And it's in a way like we have Elixir to thank for that, because of that, we've now changed our tokenomics. Like our NFTs won't be tradable while there's supply on our DApp, on our decentralized app. So people will have to buy mead to buy our NFTs. And,
That's good. Yeah.
So that's something that we've responded to immediately, and we had great response from the community. And a lot of people like reading this announcement after all the Elixir stuff has just made me even more bullish, just because I know like you guys are listening and you're looking and you are creating a project. Like this isn't just chat. We are actually creating this thing.
I do like this project. There was a part of me who, after the Elixir thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay out of new projects for a while. But it's been 3 days now, so I think I'm ready to get back on the horse.
No, you've been really nice, James, and like very accommodating. I know that like the Elixir stuff is probably giving you a bit of a hard time, and I'm sorry. That is like, I think one of my teammates showed me one of your tweets, and I just know exactly the sorts of messages you're going to be getting, and it's you must have a thick skin, because you seem to be handling it all right. Like,
it's been good for me as a person. I'm kind of a people pleaser by nature, and so this has actually been a really good for me, just like even personally, because it's just like it's amazing. If you have 10,000 people saying a good thing, but you have 1 or 2 people saying a negative thing, I let those 1 or 2 things get to me.
yeah,
And then, so this has been good for me, just learning, hey, you can't please everybody. And the bigger your audience is, the less likely you're going to please everyone.
yeah, there's always going to be that one person. And I'm the exact same. It hurts so much. I feel like I have to answer to it and be like, no, like me, please. But yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you on that. Although
Yeah.
I don't have as big of an audience, so I don't have people like every day scrutinizing everything I do.
Yeah. Well, not yet. And today, my audience is your audience today. So it's one and the same.
Great.
So for people who like this project, I do recommend people go read the white paper too, and just kind of look through the tokenomics. And but how can people get involved? So if they're watching this, they're like, yeah, I want in on that. What's the next steps for them getting involved?
Go to tavern.money. All of our links are there. We keep things as concise as we can. So we've got a Discord for our community, a Twitter for our outbound sort of what's happening. The website's quite nice, and then the white paper's there as well. So you can go read everything about the project, the intricacies. It's a Git book, so it's quite nicely laid out. It's quite popular, platform that people use. And yeah, we update that. We keep updated, and so yeah, come join the Discord. Come say hi. We're in chat. We're active. So yeah, it'd be nice to talk to some of you. And I hope people ask me about the liquidity stuff. I want people to look into that.
You hope people ask some questions about the
Yeah,
code
yeah,
and
yeah.
why you did this, why you put this function here, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably won't get a ton of questions about that. I'm
Probably not.
sorry.
Probably not. I need to
Most
face
people's
the facts.
questions are you going to rug us? Are you going to give me a good return,
When
etc.
Lambo.
Yeah, when Lambo, exactly, exactly. So, well, great. It was awesome having you on here. It was awesome meeting you. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share or wanted to talk about?
No, it was just that. Like, it was just not. I just wanted to come chat, and yeah, thanks for having me on, James. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. So, nice guys, nice team. I am a sucker for nice guys. I'm going to be investing in this project, but I want to make real clear. In fact, look me in the eyes. I'll make my screen bigger. I am not telling you to get involved in this project. Okay, this is not financial advice. I'm just letting you know I like the team. I like the project. I'm going to get involved in it. And if you would like to, that would be great. Okay, just want to make that super clear. I've not looked through the code. I don't know that the tokenomics will work. It's an experiment. We'll see. But I like them, and I like this project. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting. And we'll talk to you later.